I'm out here in the middle of nowhere to try to see if drones are worth it to capture motorcycle content and to honestly give it a shot. So let's see how this goes and answer the question if you should buy a drone to capture yourself on a motorcycle. Now, as some of you may or may not know, I used to have the DJI FPV drone, and that requires goggles, a lot of skill, and a second person to actually capture me on a motorcycle. So I only really used it about for one video. Other than that, I didn't spend much time flying it. So it was worthless to me. So instead, I traded it for a DJI Mini 3 Pro because it has active track. And that's where you can put the drone in the air, highlight yourself, and it will follow you as you ride, drive, walk, run, bike, whatever you may need to do. And that's what we're here to test today to see how well this works. Now, I've done some research and essentially I can only go about 20 miles an hour. Yay. But let's see if it actually works and how well it works and try to get at least a first person perspective to see what kind of content we can pull with this. Now, drones I've seen through hundreds of videos, through other YouTubers and vloggers and people using them only really to set the scene or to capture maybe a little bit of content. And in all honesty, this would probably be used maybe every once in a while, but in settings like this, at times of the year like this, when I'm wearing a hat and a gaiter and far too many layers because it's freaking cold out here, I think it'd be a fun way to test it. And honestly, we're surrounded by nothing, so what could I run into, right? Oh, please don't run into anything. So then one of the questions that I even asked myself is, how am I gonna operate this while riding a motorcycle? Well, I ended up purchasing one of the SP Connect universal mounts, and all I'm going to do is put it on the bars and, well, do my best to turn it and hope it stays. And obviously it's not straight because I couldn't mount it, but at least monitor what this is doing as it's behind me, in front of me, to the side of me, and hopefully be able to save it if there's a bad situation. And well, I need to rethink this a little bit because it doesn't stick very well and it's on the side. But out of these two pieces, I think we can capture some good stuff. So why don't we get this thing up in the air? Let's get to riding and see what we can capture. I'm gonna put you on my face so it makes this a little bit easier. So yeah, here we go. All right, so now that you're in my head, I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as possible. This is cool. There's been nobody on the road. Anyway, all right, so we've got our remote that's kind of set up. I put the little stickies on it. I got an ND filter on the drone. What I'm not going to do is try to set this up or color grade or do anything fancy. I'm just going to get this damn thing in the air and see if it works. So, first things first, I guess, get the bike in the street a little bit so I can just pick it up and go. I'm going to try this without gloves. And then I'm going to give her a shot, maybe with gloves, all depending. Oh, but let's see what this does. All right. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about with the SP mount. I can't really get it anywhere else on here without it being a total mess. But another cool feature actually about this drone, and probably the new 4 version or whatever the hell it is, you can actually revert or tilt the camera so it's straight up and down, so you can create shorts content, which I think is really, really cool. And yeah, unable to take off. Continue without GPS. Yeah, whatever. Whee! Oh, this is cool. Alright. Look, there's me! And we're gonna go... we should probably go behind for the first one. Let's see what we can do. Whoa, third person view. Go a little bit higher. Farther back. Right about there. Alright, so to active track, I'm going to highlight the subject. You're going to have active And this is the point when my GoPro decided to get rid of all the footage and cut out and die and freeze and do all the weird things. So if anybody wants a free GoPro, by all means, come pick it up. But anyway, looking back at the content, I thought it turned out really pretty cool. I think the ability to really mount it on the bars better and focus on you, active track by highlighting yourself, clicking active track, you've either got a follow or like a parallel mode, and you can really grab some cool content. It's disappointing when you get to about 20 miles per hour because I had it cut out, and this is why I wish I had the GoPro stuff. It cut out at about 22 miles an hour and lost me. But it was nice because the drone just stopped where it was and hovered. So I could turn around, come back, and then recontrol it while I was sitting on the bars to make sure it was in a safe position. A lot of these other features like the upright shooting mode, so a 16:9 or a 9:16 is really, really cool. I like that fact because it's gonna be easy to create shorts, it's gonna be easy to get that upright content and be able to distribute much quicker than it would for, reformatting a big wide image like what you're seeing now. But I do think there's some things that I need to learn, especially with operating this drone. Now, when you relook at the footage, it's a little close. It's pretty close to me. It's a hyper focus on me. And I think depending on the story or what you want to tell, that's not the best shot. For something like this, for testing purposes, to make sure it operates and works, great, just fine. But I really think it depends on the story itself. A lot of the times I see drones that set up the scene. It shows you where you are. It shows the beautiful mountains and the scenery and the wow, instead of just a flat cornfield. But it's really just a tool to then mentally check you into where the scene is taking place. When it's following somebody, I think it's really, really cool, but when it's pulled back a lot farther to set up that scene itself. And there's a few iterations where I try to recreate the scenes from The Place Beyond the Pines because I love that movie. So to conclude all this, instead of to continue to talk for forever, I think at the end of the day, this drone or any drone with the active track features is really, really cool. I wish that it was a little bit faster so I could go at a quicker speed, let's say 35 miles an hour. When it's in front of me, it's hard for the drone to kind of register where I'm at or where I'm going to go. So I wish you could set a speed on there. You might be able to, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm probably not going to be using this a lot. I mean, I use it more than the FPV drone that I had because I don't need the goggles. I don't need to, stand on the side while I ride the bike. It's going to be really, really cool to set up scenes and redevelop a story in that aspect through the drone's eyes and get those big wide shots and try to get in nature. And it's really cool because the mini series is so small. I mean, heck, I could put it in my pocket if I wanted to. I could put the controller on the bars and I could ride somewhere and there you go, there's your drone shots. So there's a lot of benefits to it. But in reality, I'm still probably not going to use it that much. I mean, we'll see. I don't normally go on rides with this camera, with a GoPro on my face, with all the other trinkets and bits that I need to film a full video. So certain selections, certain times, you will definitely see it. Not always. So this leads me to a series that I want to start and launch where I go through and I break down all of my camera gear, all the experiences that I've had, and inform all of you if you'd like to start a motovlog channel and what I've really kind of done to separate myself from everybody else, the gear that I use, what works, what doesn't work, my workflow, and really give you a background image of what this entire process looks like. It's not just talking to a camera, it's not just setting up drone shots or putting a GoPro on your helmet and going out there. It's really, for me, about telling a story, about being informative, about giving you guys a very good look at how I see the world and how I just love to do this, regardless of money or regardless of sponsorships or anything like that. So stay tuned for more videos, and probably the next one's going to be on this GoPro and how much I hate it and I don't like it, and it's just so unreliable. Ugh, frustrates me. But I digress. And as the season starts getting closer and closer and closer to the end, I'm going to try to ride as much as I can, even if it's cold. It's freezing out here. So I'll leave you with that. Stay tuned for more. If you have any comments or any sort of notes to make my drone flying better, the experience with DJI better, and how to get some of those cool shots, leave them in the comments below. But remember, keep riding.